seen so far the carbon microphone. Might be you got an idea that how the carbon granules differentiate its resistances when the compression and depression comes, and how the fluctuations is taken place. What is the function of the diaphragm and how it changes the audio signal into an electrical signal. And also you have seen what is the circuit, specifications, advantages, disadvantages, and so on. Now we are stepping into another type of the microphone. That is also pressure operated microphone only. It's called as a condenser microphone or capacitor microphone. When we say the capacitor microphone, does it contains the capacitor? Yes, it contains the capacitor. Does it contains the two plates? Yes, it contains the two plates. So how this is going to be operated, now we are going to see. At the same time, the principle of operation, specifications, advantages, disadvantages, and applications also we are going to see. Let us see the characteristics of a condenser microphone. This is one of the good microphone which is used in the market. Sensitivity low, about 3 millivolts. Frequency response 40 Hz to 15 kilohertz. Signal to noise ratio high, 40 dB, that is decibels. Directivity only directional. It means it can pick up the signal from all directions. Output impedance high, 100 mega ohms. Now let us have a condenser microphone explanation. As every microphone consisting of a diaphragm, and this is also having a diaphragm of a metal diaphragm. This is a very thin diaphragm and light-weighted diaphragm. Whenever air pressure is mounted on that, it starts going inside or coming outside. Totally depends upon the air pressure molecules. Metal backplate. The metal backplate is a fixed metal backplate, and we have to see here a metal diaphragm and the metal backplate. The two are metals and separated by an insulator, means the formation of the capacitance is taking place. The back metal plate is always a fixed metal plate, and metal diaphragm is a movable diaphragm. Means the capacitance either increases or decreases because of the metal diaphragm. Spring. Whenever the diaphragm is stretched towards a constant metal plate, then this spring action makes the loosen the diaphragm, and whenever it is coming to an original situation, it tightens the diaphragm. And similarly, when it is comes out, also it loosens slightly the diaphragm tension. So the spring is inbuilt in the metal diaphragm such that the action can be continued without changing any elasticity in the metal diaphragm. The condenser microphone requires very high DC voltage. This DC voltage is given from the external source as a voltage input. A supporting fixtures. The total condenser microphone are built in metal case, which can be called as a supporting fixtures, and this protects the metal diaphragm as well as the inner parts of a microphone. Insulator. This insulator makes the current movement whenever there is a changes in this. Means it is acting as a dielectric. Metal diaphragm, when it is moving up and down, because of the insulator, the two metal diaphragms will not make any contact. Now try to recall our memories of any capacitors. Whenever the capacitor is defined, It is defined as this. The two metal plates are separated by an insulator called as capacitor. The capacitor is totally depends upon the area of metal plates, distance between the metal plates. Here we have to consider the distance between the metal plates. Whenever the metal plates are apart, the capacitance decreases, charge increases. And whenever the metal plates are very near, the capacitance increases, charge decreases, and the voltage increases. We take it the glance of how the condenser microphone works when a metal diaphragm either goes inside or comes outside. We can able to observe here the metal diaphragm that is called a movable plate of a capacitor. Either it is going close to a back plate or moving away from the back plate. Whenever it is going to nearer to the metal plate, then the capacitance is increases due to the distance between the metal plate and the diaphragm is decreasing, and the voltage also increases. Similarly, whenever the diaphragm is moves away from the fixed plate, that is a metal black plate, the capacitance decreases due to the distance is increased between the diaphragm and a metal plate, with which the voltage decreases. So these fluctuations, according to the air pressure which is mounting on a diaphragm, the voltages also changes. Whenever the voltage changes, the charge carriers sends the same voltage through an amplifier circuit and taken out as an output of a microphone. This is a condenser microphone circuit. Please check up here. The diaphragm is movable diaphragm and the plate is fixed. Whenever air pressure is coming from this side, the screen moves. In turn, the diaphragm also moves towards the plate, where the distance between these two plates are closing. When it is close, the capacitance is increasing. When the capacitance is increasing, the voltage also increases. And whenever the screen moves this side, with the screen, the diaphragm also moves towards this side, with which the capacitance is decreasing because the distance between the two plates are increased and the voltage falls. These fluctuations of a voltage due to the movable diaphragm is sent into by the help of 200 volts, sends towards a capacitance and to an amplifier. As I mentioned to you people, that this condenser microphone consisting of a capacitor separated by an insulator, and this is a basic principle of capacitor. So it is called as a capacitor microphone or condenser microphone. Let us see the condenser microphone advantages, disadvantages. A condenser microphone consisting low self noise, low distortion, wider frequency response. For all frequencies, it can give you very good output. Disadvantages: it is bulky and costlier because of high DC bias requirement. It requires an external DC bias, for which we have to shell down cost more for this microphone. It cannot withstand excessive heat and moisture. The condenser microphone cannot withstand for an excessive temperature. Delicate due to the narrow gap within the conducting plates. The condenser microphone consisting the two conducting plates, one is movable and another is fixed. So these conducting plates is having a very small air gap. Dear students, we have seen how the capacitor microphone functions. One plate vibrates and another plate is in a constant. How this magic is going to be taken place. How the fluctuations is coming out. We have seen all these things. And also we learn it. What are the specifications for that? Advantages, disadvantages, and also an applications. Among the pressure operated microphones, the moving coil microphone is in a final. Nowadays we have a moving coil microphone in the market, and it is in a very dynamic, and it is in a unidirectional and also omnidirectional. Depends upon our requirements, we are going to get it in the market. But before that, we would like to know that how the moving coil functions. What are the parts in that? How it is going to generate the electrical signal by the help of audio signal, and also the specifications, advantages, disadvantages, and lastly applications. Now let us see the moving coil microphone characteristics, that is permanent magnet moving coil microphone or dynamic microphone. The sensitivity of dynamic microphone is 30 microvolts. It can pick up a very small noises or voices also. Frequency response 60 Hertz to 8000 Hertz. Signal to noise ratio 30 decibels. Directivity omnidirectional. It can pick up the signal from all directions. Output impedance low, that is 25 ohms. This category of microphones comes under the low impedances microphones. Let us have in detail discussion of dynamic microphone. The dynamic microphone can also be called as a permanent moving coil microphone, PMMC microphone. The basic construction of this microphone goes in this way. Diaphragm. The line which is starting from here and making a bump here and then goes towards this side is known as diaphragm. This diaphragm is a thin metal sheet, and which can have a air pressures exerted on that. This diaphragm is a metal sheet and accepts the air pressure from the outside, so that this metal plate can move downward and the top side. And it is consisting a flexible fastening. Whenever the diaphragm moves inside or outside, the stretches or acts as a spring action, such that it always keeps the diaphragm in center. These inbuilt flexible fastening create a elasticity in the diaphragm. The diaphragm is attached with a voice coil. This is a one thin wire is mounted on a former, and it is permanently attached this voice coil former to a diaphragm, such that whenever the diaphragm moves, the voice coil also moves up and down with diaphragm. The protective cover. This is known as metal protective cover. It encases the total unit of a microphone inside and no external pressure is accepted except only a pressure of sound signals. Coming back to this side, this is called as a permanent magnet, which is having two poles, north pole, south pole and south pole. Means the magnetic lines are moved between these two poles. A strong magnetic fields are created. When the no movement is available with the diaphragm, the magnetic fields or magnetic lines are not disturbed. But whenever any movement in the diaphragm takes place, then the magnetic lines which is moving from pole to pole is disturbed by a conductors which is available on a former as a voice coil. These conductors cuts the lines of forces and then induces a voltage in it. This voltage in turn taken at the output. This is known as permanent magnet moving coil microphone. We'll see how it functions. Now you see the diaphragm is moving up and down according to the air pressure created on the diaphragm. Whenever the air pressure is created, either it moves or it comes out, due to which it takes with diaphragm a former of a coil known as voice coil in between a strong magnetic field which is concentrated between the poles of a magnet. And whenever these fields are objected by any conductors or cut by any conductors, the strong magnetic fields induces a voltage in the coil. This inducing of a voltage is faithfully or exactly the same level of a frequency which is exerted in the shape of sound signals on a diaphragm. Means the diaphragm is taking the air signals or air pressure, and in turn by the help of magnetic lines, by the help of voice coil, it is converting the signal into electrical signal. This is known as dynamic microphone. Dynamic microphone circuit. As we have seen that the dynamic microphone or the dynamic microphone can be called as a permanent magnet moving coil microphone, which converts air signal into an electrical signal by the help of diaphragm, magnetic lines of forces, voice coil, and the electrical signal at the output. The same electrical signal at the output is taken by a transformer, may be known as the step-up transformer, and then given to a speech amplifier. Moving coil or dynamic microphone advantages. Sensitivity is good. Small in size, requires no external source of power. Disadvantages. As magnet is quite heavy, it can be encased in a heavy protective case. Because of this, it becomes a little bit bulky. Cost is lower than the ribbon and condenser microphone, but higher than the crystal and carbon microphone. So this microphone is in between the other microphones. Moving coil dynamic microphone applications are where the signal to noise ratio required less, means more perfection is required, then this type of the microphones are used. It is omnidirectional and it can be used everywhere. Normally it is used in public address systems. Students, now we are going to see the crystal microphone. A crystal is nothing but a Rochelli salt. This is the one type of the diamond which is going to be used for any crystallizations. The two slabs is kept it on the back side and the front side of this. And in between the two slabs, this has been crimped. How it is going to be crimped and how it is going to function and how it is going to convert the audio signal into an electrical signal, now we are going to see. At the same time, we are going to see what is the circuit, applications, advantages, disadvantages, and also the specifications. Now let us see the characteristics of crystal microphone. Sensitivity is 50 millivolts. Frequency response is 100 Hz to 8000 Hz. Signal to noise ratio high, 40 decibels. Directivity omnidirectional. Output impedance high, about 1 mega ohm. Now we go for a crystal microphone. The crystal microphone is having diaphragm, once again, which is in a very thin metal plate, and a spring system for the attached to a diaphragm, which makes either the go forward direction or move backward direction. This is called as a push rod attached to a diaphragm, such that directly contacted with a bimorphic crystal unit. Whenever the push rod moves downside with the help of diaphragm, it creates a piezoelectric effect on the bimorphic crystal unit. What is the piezoelectric effect, sir? This is nothing but a salt which is called as a Rochelli salt is mounted in a bimorphic crystal unit. The piezoelectric effect, to create a piezoelectric effect, the Rochelli salt is bounded with two sides of very thin rods of metal plates. If the single cell is used, two metal plates are used. If number of series of bimorphic cells are used, then the metal plates increases. The single cell give a very low voltage at the output, and a series of cells can give you more voltage at the output. Normally, more cells are used to give the output voltage is high. Similarly, whenever a bimorphic cell contains number of plates, the more voltage is created at the output. This bimorphic cell, whenever a pressure is created directly on that, it starts vibrating and try to give a external voltage at the output. So bimorphic crystal unit is directly in contact with a diaphragm. That is, whenever a pressure is mounted on the diaphragm, the push rod directly pushes according to the diaphragm downside or upside, with which the bimorphic crystal gets an external pressure on that and starts vibrating and gives the voltage at the output. And these outputs are not normally given to the transformer because of the hum or noises. it will be directly given to a capacitance and resistance amplifier such that noise of a crystal microphone can be decreased. Crystal microphone doesn't need any external source. Bimorphic crystal unit develops its own voltages and gives at the output. It is one of the finest microphone and gives a accurate output. Now we'll see how the crystal microphone creates a sound signal converted into an electrical signal. See, whenever the diaphragm moves, the push rod also moving downside and creating a sensation in the crystal microphone, that is bimorphic crystal unit. So when this diaphragm moves downside, this exerts a pressure on a bimorphic crystal unit and create a frequency as well as the voltage at the output. This is a crystal microphone circuit. As I mentioned in the beginning, the output of a crystal will not be coupled with a transformer. It is coupled with a RC network amplifier such that the microphone humming or distortions can be avoided. It is giving us a very low voltage at the output, so a series of amplifier circuit is necessary for the crystal microphone. Though it is going to give us very accurate voltage at the output, but it is a very low. We require many more series of the circuits to be amplified that low voltage signal into a speech amplifiers. Let us see the advantages and disadvantages of crystal microphone. These are extremely robust, small in size and inexpensive, very low distortion, bias supply is not required. Disadvantages are, these are affected by temperature and moisture. The applications of crystal microphone are, these are widely used in PA system, that is public address system, sound level meters and hearing aids. These are also used for home recording purposes. We have seen so far how the crystal slab is available. It's known as bimorphic cells. Each and every cell, how it is going to give us the results, how it is going to convert the audio signal into an electrical signal. Whether it needs any external potential or not, we have seen it. With these things also, we have learned it, what is the circuit, what is an advantages, what is an disadvantages, and also applications. Hope you learn better. Dear students, I enjoyed in front of you and I have struggled a lot to create basic principles of whatever it may be, with any animations as well as the good pictures. Hope you are also enjoyed very well. I wish you all the best. Goodbye till we meet again.